Hola, ¿cómo estás? Konnichiwa, ni hao, salam, namaste, privet, kef halik to all my friends all over the world. Welcome to Entrepreneur Extraordinaire. Today we're going to talk about buying your first house. When you're buying your first house, a lot can go wrong. You're hearing all these messages, all this noise, and you don't know what's right. If you're concerned about that, if you're concerned that you might lose money while buying a house, you might get stuck with the wrong house, you might end up with the wrong realtor, you might end up with a higher interest rate that you don't deserve even if you have decent credit, then this video is for you. So stick around to watch this video till the end so we can show you all the mistakes you could possibly make and how to avoid them. I'm going to take you step by step, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on this two-part video so you can see all the mistakes and what to look out for. If that interests you, stick around for more. So folks, I'm not a realtor, I'm an investor, and I'm going to give you an investor point of view in buying your first house. It's very important to have an investor view because a house is an investment. It's a long-term investment. It's an investment you might live there for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. It's a loan that you may get stuck for 15, 20 years. It's a house where you may raise your kids. It's a house that may change your life. So what is the step-by-step process of buying a house? Well, first of all, there's credit involved. Then there's loan, banks, brokers involved. Then you go find an agent. Then you go house shopping. Then you find the house. If you don't follow these steps one by one, you may end up going and trying to buy a house that you cannot afford, or may end up with the wrong agent. So a lot can go wrong, right? So let's look at step number 1. What is step number 1? Step number 1 is you checking your own credit, okay? Go online, check your own credit, make sure your credit is credit worthy. Once you check your credit, then the next step number 2, and before I go to step number 2, once you check your credit, you want to make sure, is your credit good or bad or ugly? Is your credit one way or the other? How does your credit fall into place in terms of buying a house? If you want to know the answer to that, you can watch my credit video, how to boost your credit. If your credit is below 650 or below 660, what is good credit? What is bad credit? How to leverage credit to get the best rate in the market. Second, you want to go on the online and find out all the interest rate being offered and make sure you can get the most competitive interest rate. Not the APR, but the interest rate, okay? So that's number 1. So now you go find a broker or talk to a bank. If you have a bank that can lend you money and you have a good relationship with them, can get you the best rate, you want to talk to them, okay? I would personally go with a broker because the broker has access to many different banks, and you can get a referral from us online or you can get a referral yourself. There are many brokers out there. The brokers will do one thing for you. They can shop around the best rate for you, okay? So what can go wrong finding a broker or a bank? Well, a bank can tag you with a lot of points at closing, okay? They can give you a bad interest rate. They can make you feel like your credit is not good enough. And you don't want that. You don't want them to tell you your credit is not good enough if your credit is good. If your credit is over 680, your credit is good. There's no reason you should not be able to get a good interest rate. So be mindful and know your rights. Know what you deserve, okay? So that's step number 1. Number 2, once you find a broker or an agent, now you know what kind of house, what price range you can buy. So you want to look at your budget and make sure if your credit is 680 plus or 720 plus, then you're in excellent range to buy a house. Now that you know that, well, now you can find and go shop around for a realtor. When you shop around for a realtor, you want to look for certain things in a realtor. You want to ask the realtor these questions. Number 1, how long have you been doing real estate? Number 2, do you do real estate full-time or part-time? Do you sell houses in the zip code where I live, which is 22030, not 90210? I don't want to live in 90210. I want to live in 22030. Tell me that you buy houses and sell houses in that area, okay? Number 3, do you sell townhomes, condos, single family? What percentage of houses that you sell in that market? And that's very critical because if all this realtor does or agent does is sell condos, then this is not your man or woman. You don't want to go shop for someone who's selling horses when you want to buy a zebra. Makes sense, right? So what can go wrong with a realtor? Well, a realtor can be very tricky, folks. A realtor can be someone who's working part-time. They don't take any interest. They don't do any marketing. A realtor could also be in bed with the buyer's or the seller's agent, and they will try to steer you to show you only one house and take you to the other houses that are out of your price range and mentally try to convince you to stick with the house that their friend is trying to sell so they can sell the house and make double the commission. So be very careful if this realtor is looking in your best interest. What else can go wrong? This realtor may not know social media, so they won't be able to advertise your house properly. So you should also ask them, hey, do you have a social media account? Can I see your references? References are the key. If they've sold townhomes, let's talk to some folks who have sold townhomes for them, right? And when you check references, you want to specifically ask them about the service, the timing, the price, everything that you can. Don't be shy. It's a house you're buying. Don't be shy, okay? Ask for references. Ask for specific references for the specific kind of house that you're looking for, okay? Also, make sure the realtor doesn't lock you in to a long-term contract that has some stipulations that you can't get out of. So read that contract, read that fine print, and make sure you ask them this question: would I be able to get this contract if your service wasn't satisfactory? If the answer is no, if the answer is if you hear any hesitation, get out of that realtor's realm, okay? Now, so let's say you find a perfect realtor, you have a perfect broker or a bank. What do you do now? And your credit is decent or close to being decent. Now, next thing you start looking for houses, right? No, the wrong answer. You start giving your requirements to realtor. You want to tell them, I want a house with 2 windows, with a parking garage, with a parking space, with a guest parking space. You want to also tell them that I want a front yard, not a backyard. I want low maintenance, yard, or I want no HOA fees or low HOA fees. All those requirements, 2 windows, 3 windows, 2 kitchens, 1 bathroom, whatever that may be, you want to make sure that you're telling your realtor exactly what you want. If you don't tell them what you want, it's your own fault that you don't find the right house. So requirements is important, and that's the next step after you find the realtor. List out all the requirements, all their desired ideal list in the world, right? Whatever you want in a house, tell them this would be the perfect house, okay? Whether it's on cul-de-sac, whether it's at the entrance, whether it has a balcony or a patio, tell them everything, right? It's a lifetime investment, and that's what investors do. Now, the next step is now you start looking for houses. Now, when you start looking for houses, don't just depend on your realtor, okay? Don't just depend on your realtor. Make sure your realtor also is complementing, you looking for houses and they're looking for houses, okay? So you go on social media, tell people I'm looking for a house in this price range. If anybody knows anybody, because these days social media is powerful, folks. There's a lot of people on social media selling houses, buying houses. They're realtors. You can join groups. So don't depend on your realtor. Let them go, buy houses. But you go drive around or talk to your friends. And if you find a lead, you can then go and tell the realtor, look, I have a lead. I found this house. What do you think we go and check it out? Okay. So don't just depend. And second thing is, every single week, ask for a status report from your realtor. How many houses have you looked for me? How many houses have you found? How many houses did not match the criteria? Stuff like that. So it's almost like giving your money to a lawyer and expecting them to win the case. They're not going to win the case. You have to go check with them. You have to go provide evidence. Similarly, with a realtor, you want to go and give the realtor all the things that you need and then help them succeed. See, it's a partnership, okay? Because a realtor is distracted by so many other people. Not everyone else is checking with them, but you are. So make a point of that. Okay, so let's say you buy the ideal house. You should go and at least look for 5, 10, 20, 30 houses if you have to. Don't get emotionally attached to the house, okay? What you want to do is you want to put your, not the lowest offer, but a bit below the lowest offer for the house. Make your offer very attractive by offering a good earnest money deposit, okay? Or something like that. 20% down payment, show them the letter that you're approved by the credit or by the lender. You've already done your homework, right? Your broker has told you can buy a $500,000 house. Sure, now show them that. So earnest money is showing essentially to the seller that, you're serious about buying, and if you don't come up with a loan and you don't close in 30 or 40 days, then they can keep that money. Also, try to close the house sooner than later. Offer your seller a early or the earliest closing date. Usually it's standard 45 days, but if you can close in 30 days, tell them we'll shoot for 30 days. People love that. So make your offer very attractive, okay? And make sure your realtor at this point is not trying to steer you in the direction of going with a higher offer, okay? If they do that, they're not looking in your best interest, okay? And if you make an offer and you come back, you're not going to get the offer accepted, okay? So step-by-step process, structured approach, folks. So once you make an offer, it's not the final offer, and you know that, right? I'm telling you. So once you make the offer, you want to wait and see how the seller responds. Seller might come back and say, well, I want 10,000 more or 5,000 more. Then incrementally increase your offer, okay? Very important, incrementally increase your offer, okay? 5,000, maybe 6,000, then another 2,000 after that. There's going to be a lot of back and forth. First time offer is never a good offer. If you've offered and they accepted the offer first time, you made the wrong offer. You paid too high. So let's say the offer is accepted at this point. What's the next point? The next point is that you do a house inspection. House inspection is your opportunity. Okay, so we'll talk about in the next video what house inspection means and how you can navigate around house inspection and use it to your leverage to further drop the price or get cash back from the seller, okay? It's very important. So this is a two-part video. I'll end this video here and we'll see you next time. Thank you.